Good evening, everyone. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing amazing, actually. I'm doing amazing, but this is the 5th time we try to make this live work, which is really funny. I'll be going live with my dear friend Daniel Martinez to share our experience at Miami-Dade College. This video is very, very important to me, very dear to my heart. And I just hope you all enjoy it and can get informed from the questions that we're about to ask and answer. And well, I just can't wait to share my experience at Miami-Dade College with all of you. So let's just wait until he joins and he can request me and I can let him in the video. Until then, I'm gonna write down here. At MDC. Hello, Daniel. Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here right now. Sorry, my dog. It's a little crazy. So I'm just gonna wait for Daniel's request. Here we go. Hoping it works. Really, really hoping it works this time around.
Finally!
Hello! Oh my goodness! Finally! This finally works. Wow.
So I'm Daniel.
Yeah, so let me introduce you properly. So first I'm gonna go ahead and introduce myself, just if there's someone who doesn't know me, and then I'll introduce you, if that's okay. So my name is Catalina Perez Armiñan. I recently graduated from the Honors College at Miami-Dade College as a journalism major, and I'll be transferring to Emerson College in the fall to continue my studies in broadcast journalism. And I'm very excited to be here today with my dear friend Daniel Martinez. We're going to be sharing our different experiences at MDC, as we have two very different experiences, but I'm sure they're both very positive. And we're just here to share them with you. So Daniel, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself a little better.
Yeah, so I'm Daniel Martinez. I went mostly to MTC for their theater program, and that's basically where most of my experiences basically lie in. I'm an actor, filmmaker, trying to make it out there in Hollywood, although right now Hollywood's kind of so we'll see about that. But aside from that, that's basically my experience. I'm trying to go to FIU, doing all the transfer stuff and all that goes with it, trying to... Technically, I still need to graduate from MDC, technically speaking. I need to get the certificate, but that's about it.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's amazing. And Daniel and I met through Rotaract, actually, which is a club at MDC. We've been friends for 2 years, more than 2 years now. Well, 2 years.
About 2 years.
More or less. And, well, we've been through everything. So I think it was really cool that he offered to do this together. And I thought it was an amazing idea. And I said, why not? So let's go ahead and get into it. So Daniel, the first question we're going to answer is, why did we choose to go to MDC?
So you want to start or should I start?
You can start.
So my reason why I chose MDC was my last resort, essentially, if I'm being honest. I applied to everywhere else, FIU, DePaul, Boston U, SUNY, NYU. I'm an actor, so I tried for Juilliard. That didn't go out well, but whatever. So yeah, it was basically my last resort at the end. So yeah, that's basically why I ended up choosing MDC. It was basically my last resort. And well, here I am now, 3 years later.
Yeah, and you're doing amazing. So I'm very happy that you ended up in MDC. From my part, I chose MDC because of their Honors College program. I went to MDC Honors, and to be honest, it was the best college experience I could have asked for. I never thought it would go as amazing as it did. I thought it was an amazing opportunity when I heard about it. And I was in a very similar situation. I had applied to many schools out of state, and I had been accepted to many schools out of state. I just didn't really want to leave the state yet, but I didn't also want to stay in the state for 4 years. So it was kind of a difficult situation, and I didn't know what I wanted at that time. And MDC Honors was a blessing that was put in my way, and I was last minute well, to me, last minute was like a year earlier, right? But
Right.
last minute for me, I was like, wow, I need to go to this place. And the only thing that was holding me back was that I thought MDC didn't have study abroad programs. And
All
it was
right.
only until I asked one of the representatives, but MDC doesn't have any study abroad. And she told me, are you crazy? We have so many. And that's how the story goes. But I thought it was such an amazing opportunity, and it definitely was. So I'm very, very happy that I went there.
Right.
So,
We're,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
no. Wait, give me a quick second. Someone's at the door.
I'm going to take this second to tell everyone that feel free to leave any questions in the question box, and we'll go through them at the end.
And I'm back.
Awesome. So yeah,
yeah.
I was just telling them that I can leave any questions in the question box, and we'll answer them afterwards. Yeah, so the next question that I want to ask you is, what were your first impressions of MDC?
Well, kind of going with that last resort. I'll be honest. Because of the way all my friends from high school and middle school and whatever, they always talk bad about MDC. So I'll be honest, I didn't really have high impressions or expectations from MDC at first. I was like, oh, this is where, those type, like the losers go. I'll be honest, I was like, I had negative thoughts about it initially. But, as kind of the years went on, talking with my real friends at MDC and just enjoying the whole overall experience with the theater, Rotaract, or what have you, my thoughts on MDT, of course, changed, and it turned out for the better. So yeah, I'd say that's basically my impressions. At first, it was why I don't like it, and now I'm happy.
That's amazing. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad it turned
Yeah.
out. I'm sorry. I'm glad it turned out very well for you. And my experience, I was actually terrified. I was terrified to go to Miami-Dade Honors. I had heard that it was an amazing program, and I remember sitting in the induction ceremony and thinking, there's no way that I'm gonna make it in this program. There's no way. I was sure that I would be dismissed from the program at some point because I was so scared. And because it truly is such a great program that it's not something that once you're in it, you want to lose. And
Right.
you find out, you notice that right away. So you are conscious that you want to be there, or at least that was my experience, right? We all have different experiences, and I know that, but I was terrified. Sorry, my dog.
No, it's cool.
But MDC, I noticed that MDC overall wants your success. Your professors want your success. Yeah. You're always supported. If you want an opportunity, you can find it. It's a place where if you dig for opportunities, you find them. And,
right.
And sometimes you don't even have to dig. Sometimes they just come your way, and it's like, oh my goodness, sure, and it turns out to be an amazing experience. And professors care about you. Most of the professors that I've had have deeply cared about me and have given me advice, not only academic advice, but also like lifelong advice that has been good for me. And they also really care about their field. I've noticed that throughout professors that all professors at MDC, all professors that I've had at MDC are passionate about their field and what they're teaching, sure. Which I think is super important.
True. That's mostly true, yeah.
Mostly.
But
yeah, we all have different experiences, right? And we all had good and bad experiences, just like anywhere else. But from MDC,
oh yeah.
What resonates to me the most is all the good experiences that I had.
Fair enough.
So our third question. So for you actually, go ahead.
Okay.
And tell us your thoughts on the theater program at MDC.
The theater program is really good at MDC. I mean, you have Professor Braun, and he basically is the theater program. We don't have any other theater teachers, to be honest. There's a musical theater teacher, but they're pretty separated. If I'm being honest, it's like theater is one major, and then musical theater is like a completely different major. So when it comes to the theater program itself, you really just have Professor Braun, and he's a fantastic professor. Like you said, like he's one of those professors that actually cares about you, your well-being, and how you're doing as a student. He wants you to succeed in the long run. That being said, he's also very realistic, and I remember, like, during the first time I ever had him, he was like, honestly, y'all should drop out. None of you are gonna make it as actors. It was the funniest thing. Like, I'm just being realistic. I don't really expect to see any of you actually acting no more than like 5, 6 years, because I know how students are. This is what we think we want, but realistically, very few of you actually pursue it. So that was pretty funny. And I basically had him for like all 3 years, for whether it be for acting one, acting two, theater appreciation, playwriting, stage development, stagecraft, directing. Basically had him for everything throughout these 3 years. And he was great. He was a fantastic professor overall, and just overall the theater program at MDC, it's really good. The theater program at MDC, just in general, the main three departments are in Wolfson, Kendall, and North Campus, but the biggest one is here at Wolfson Campus, which is where we went. And that's the more respected one, I guess you could say. That being said, like I said, it's a great experience. Of course, you have your negative experiences always. But for the most part, I'd say it was really great. Professor Braun, he cares about you as both as a student, a person, and an actor. So he wants you to succeed, but he also wants you to be realistic in your actual goals. And then overall, I mean, I've learned as an actor throughout these 3 years. The first play I did was this play called Church and State, which is actually about police shootings. And I had a very minor role in it, but it really taught me a lot in terms of what I want to be as an actor, how I want to be as an actor, and of course my skills just kind of developed from there. And it was there. I mean, I've done other plays, Influence, trying to remember what else, Luna Gale, which I invited you. Thanks for coming.
I did to go, but see, the honors college kept me very busy, so I didn't
but no, let's see. I mean, we were even going to have another play this semester till shit hit the fan, till the apocalypse happened. It was going to be it was a Charlie Brown thing. It was Dog Sees God, which is basically where Charlie Brown and company are basically teenagers in high school, and let's just say they're a bunch of assholes. So essentially, and my character was the biggest asshole of all. So yeah. But no, overall, that's basically the experience you get in the theater program. Professor Braun, probably one of the best professors I've had, period. Like I said, he cares for you. He likes you. He tries to make sure that you succeed as a person, actor, student, whatever have you. But then you also just gain just this wealth of experience with him, whether it be for the acting, directing, writing. Because also, when I came in, I thought I only wanted to be an actor. As these 3 years have kind of shown me, I want to do more than just acting. So recently, I've been doing a lot more writing for like films, short films, or what have you. I've been doing a lot more directing. Actually, in fact, literally today, I'm starting to cast a short film I'm doing. So it's kind of expanded my train of thought in regards to filmmaking in general, just acting. Like, I don't have to just be an actor. I could also be directing, acting, writing, producing, editing, whatever have you. So, I mean, that's really my experience with it. It's just, I came there as an actor, and I'm basically coming out as a filmmaker with loads of this expertise. And also, we had our trips. This thing, it's an acting seminar, basically, called KCACTF, where we would go to another place. This year was in South Carolina. And, those trips are always great because we get to learn so much about acting. They're basically a bunch of acting seminars, whether it be for improv, acting, screenwriting. It could even be something as weird as puppetry or in puppet making. It could even be something like that. So you have all these just general stuff about theater, like set designing as well. You get to learn so much, and that's another thing that the theater department provides you, these opportunities to go to some of these conventions and learn from other schools and possibly even be picked up by some of these other schools. So I think that's really good. I think those are some of the major benefits of the theater program, and some of the ways that basically that's my experience with the theater program, how I've been able to benefit from it and all that. And of course, I've met some of my best friends there, of course, Dwayne for sure, Chrissy, Max, Natalie. I mean, technically she's part of Rotaract too, honors, but whatever. But whatever, Ayala as well, so the twins. So, I met some of my best friends there. I met you through Rotaract. Give me a break, not acting, okay? So yeah, but if you want to talk about general, just overall in school, then yeah, Rotaract had a big part to do with that. I mean, I met you, Tiffany, Ernesto, Adrian, Johnny, Miche, Paul. I met a bunch of people, so yeah, I mean, my experience just isn't theater. It's, of course, involved with Rotaract and just some of the other stuff I did, but my main experiences are theater. You get me?
Yeah, definitely. And thank you for sharing it that kind of shows you how much one professor can open your eyes, especially at MDC, because professors care about you at MDC. From my experience, right? From what I have seen, from what I have experienced myself, professors take the time to talk to you. And also the other side of it, right? Which is, oh, I went to the school that was my last resort, but look at how many opportunities I found, how many places I was in, how detailed the education was, that I could kind of open my eyes to different sides and different subjects within the field, right? So it's really important. And
of course, you get networking opportunities out of that. Like,
exactly. Networking is
like my friend Jace, he's one of my biggest, I mean, he's also one of my best friends, but he's also one of my biggest collaborators in the film industry. And I've met other people through it, like Jack Kierske and Trico. So, I mean, I've met a lot of people through that. So it's also another great, way to meet people as well,
Yeah, networking at MDC is amazing. And with that, I want to go ahead and share my thoughts on the honors program at Dade College.
Ooh.
I would 100% recommend this program. I know that I can't say that because I know that not everyone functions the same, but for someone like me, this program was amazing. This program saved my life. I always say that, and people say, you're exaggerating. No, I'm not. I'm not exaggerating. If I had gone to a different school, I would not be going to where I'm going right now. On a full tuition scholarship, which I'm very, very proud of. But without MDC honors, I would not have accomplished that. Well, I don't know that, right? But it definitely opened my way and helped me access those opportunities that led me to where I am today, right? So they say that the honors college is a pathway to greatness, and it truly, truly is. I cannot stress that enough. A lot of people talk about MDC as if it is their last as if it is their last resource, but it's really a great resource, to go to.
Right.
So it's very, very important. And then the honors college taught me and helped me have a positive and growth mindset. They have this phrase that they say, fail forward. We fail forward. And you're going to fail 1,000 times, but forward. What does that mean? That you're going to fall, but what are you going to do? You're going to keep moving forward. You're not going to go back. And you're going to learn from when you fall. And that phrase really stuck with me because it's just so true. That's how you should look at life. And they teach you that. Then time management skills, they really helped me with that. Even if it's the little things, it's just the program helps you become organized to reach your goals. From SMART goals, from IDH classes, it's really crazy how they help you set your mind and your goals to where you can achieve them in an organized way, and you can track yourself and you can track your progress and push yourself forward and forward. So it's an amazing program. And then it really helps you grow as a person. They have amazing opportunities helping other people, and that's where Rotaract comes in, when my study abroad came in. So they help you become a more well-rounded person, a more informed person, which is super important, and a better professional too. They even sit you, like, they teach you, they have a whole colloquium where they teach you how to eat properly,
Wait, what?
Yeah, they teach you how to, they teach you about table manners.
About what I eat. Well, say eat.
And it's something really important. It's an important life skill to have, especially when networking. They teach you how to network properly. And if you're a person that has never been exposed to that, I had previously been exposed to that, but if you're not, that is a skill that really helps you. It's very simple things that help you leave an impact and make an impact on someone else. And as a student too, they teach you learning styles. They teach you learning techniques, study techniques, time management. So as a student, it's a great, great program. And overall, this couldn't have been better for me. It was the most amazing experience I could have asked for my first 2 years of college. So moving on to the next question, how did you get into Rotaract? How did that start?
Natalie, essentially. She's like, hey, I'm part of this club. You should join. I'm like, okay, I'll go for the first meeting, because she was annoying me to no end. And I joined, and then I liked it. So that's how I ended up joining. But no, all jokes aside, I mean, even after that, like, I'm pretty sure I would have eventually found it, because I knew people, and I just know people after a while. So I'm pretty sure I would have just found it like, oh, Rotaract, this sounds interesting. I probably would have at least looked into it and see what's up, and then just kind of go from there, I guess. But yeah, I got into it. Essentially, Natalie said, "Hey, you should go to a meeting," and now we're here.
Yeah, now we're here. Yeah.
Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you, Natalie. Yeah. Well, my experience with Rotaract was a little different. For those who don't know, Rotaract is kind of a part of Rotary International. So Rotary International is this big organization, this big service organization worldwide. And then within Rotary, there's Interact, which is for people in high school. Then there's Rotaract, people in college. And ultimately, Rotaractors hopefully become Rotarians, right? When they're older. So when they're older or when they're out of college, as soon as they're done with college. So I've always had a passion, like a deep passion for service. And I was part of the Interact Club at Mass Academy for about 5 years. I ended up becoming president of that club after having been in the leadership for that club for a couple of years. And then I transferred to Miami-Dade College. And this is a funny connection that I just made. As soon as I went to like an orientation meeting, I saw Natalie, and her face seemed familiar because I had met her because we had a friend in common, or we had done a retreat together, something like that together. And I met her, and I approached her, and I said, I know you. And we noticed that we knew each other. And then I started talking to her about Rotaract. I started going into the MDC website about Rotaract. And it was me approaching her about wanting to join this club, and she was fortunately part of the board. So imagine how life works. So then I was a member of Rotaract. Then I became the ICC representative for Rotaract. And then I guess after a lot of hard work, I ended up becoming the president of Rotaract at MDC, which I'm very happy. And even though it was a difficult year because of the pandemic and because a lot of things that happened throughout the year, I'm still very proud of the work that we did and the work that I did as a president, and the good work that we put into the world, because I know that love is still out there and that we helped other people. So I'm very, very happy with what I did and with what we accomplished as a club. And you were part of the board too, so thank you for that.
Yeah, for like a month. for the pandemic
hit. You didn't know it would be a month, so there's commitment right there.
Well, fair enough. To be fair, I was still posting after the pandemic for like 2-3 months after.
That's right. You were, and we actually did meetings online after everything happened.
2-3 of them, I think. I think we only did like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, it was fine. It was good.
Yeah, it was fine.
So let me go ahead and ask you the next question. Are you ready?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you're gonna hate my answer.
No. Why would I hate your answer?
It's gonna be a troll answer.
What was your favorite thing about being in Rotaract?
That's I passed out.
I hate you. This man passed out.
I told you.
After a meeting, and I was the president, so I was taking my stuff off the table, getting ready to go, packing up the bag, and this man passed out on the floor. And we were 5 people, or 4 other people and him. And
it was you, me, Ayala, Ernesto, Tiffany, and Alexis.
And I was shocked. And I said immediately, someone call 911. Someone call 911. Or campus security. Oh, look who just joined. Rosania Crosser. She's the new president.
The new president. Hey, good luck.
Yeah, good luck. You'll do great. You're already doing great. So yeah, this man passed out on me. Just like that. And we had to call 911, security, his father. And I almost gave him CPR. It was very...
Wait, what?
Oh,
no, okay, no.
Almost, but he was
when the fuck did this happen? Dude, I was knocked out for like 3 seconds, unless he was...
Oh, yeah, wait, he rescued you. Like, he went and he...
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember I was facing you, Alexis, and T. And I'm like, I was saying Tiffany something, and then all of a sudden I just like black out. Next thing I know, I'm staring at Johnny Rothschild's feet, and Ness was holding me, and I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah, we were on the floor. It was crazy. It was really crazy.
So yeah, that was my favorite part.
That was certainly my
I'm joking.
favorite part.
I'm completely joking, but I had to say a troll answer just to piss you off a bit. No,
Okay,
okay.
give your real answer.
Realistically, my favorite part, aside from eventually becoming a board member, no, realistically, my favorite part was, and you were there too. It was during one of the Ronald McDonald things, and that day when we were holding the baby. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, when the mother came in, because that's the first time I felt like people were actually grateful for like the work we do.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, for me, volunteering isn't something. It's something like I kind of even in the past I want to do more of, but I don't. I just never felt like I had a reason to do it, if that makes sense. So me there being with friends, that was really cool. And then I'm always thinking like they're not really gonna care or whatever have you. And then you had this mother with her baby, and the baby's name is Keenan. I remember that.
How do you remember that? That's insane.
I just did. I just did. I don't know why, but
That
again, it
was
just
your
kind of stuck in my
moment. That
mind.
was your moment.
Yeah, it kind of just stuck in my mind. And I remember, she gave you the baby first, and she was playing. The baby was just playing with her hair, which is funniest.
Oh, with
It
my
was,
hair.
yeah, remember? You don't remember? It
It
was playing with
almost
like.
killed me. It started pulling my hair so hard.
It was still grabbing your hair,
I was
and
like,
then
wow,
after a while,
you're a strong baby.
and then after a while, the mother grabbed it, tried to give it to Tiffany. Tiffany's like, "Yeah, I'm good." She gave it to Nat, and Nat, Nat was, playing with the baby as well. The baby was playing with the hair, or whatever. And then the mother's like, "Oh, let's see, like, pass it to a boy." I'm like right there. I'm like, "Hi, kid," and this thing's just like staring at me. By the way, like scared out of its goddamn life. And I'm like, "What do I do with this?" I look at all three of you. I'm like, "What do I do?" And I look at across the table. You have Adrian, Paul, Jose, and Fiorenza. I'm like, what do I do with this? Basically, and this thing's just like staring at me. I'm like, what do I do? And then it starts crying. I'm like, yeah, you can take it back. But honestly, that was my favorite part because it's the first time I actually felt like my contributions actually mattered, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was actually, and yeah, that was probably my favorite part in all of Rotaract experience.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, or maybe second favorite after passing out, but whatever.
It's beautiful when you get to see the impact that you have on people, because one thing is packing supplies and sending them somewhere, and then another thing is serving breakfast to people who are eating in front of you. So
Right.
it's definitely impactful. For me,
Mhm.
the best thing about Rotaract is not necessarily a specific event, but it's more of the love you feel in your heart when you do service. And Rotaract was one of those things that, just like your experience with the baby, when I helped people, I felt it in my heart. Or when I was picking up trash alone, because some people didn't show up for the activity, and I had planned
Sorry.
it, and I had driven 2 hours.
Wait, I was 2 hours away?
Yeah, it was far away, and I was there alone, but I was helping
Wait, no,
my
didn't Giselle
planet.
go with you? Didn't Giselle go with you?
Giselle
Am
went
I
with
thinking of
me.
something?
One person.
Oh.
One person showed up to the activity, but it's okay. It happens. But those
Tell me.
moments where you're picking up trash to help your planet, or where you're cooking a meal for a person, or when you're even packing supplies to send to Haiti, those things matter, and those things leave an impact on other people, but they leave an even bigger impact on you. You feel the love that you give to other people. And that is very, very impactful. And you feel, even if they don't say anything, or if you don't even meet them, you feel that you've helped them. And that is a beautiful feeling to have. The experience, meeting people like you, bonding with people over making a meal for people in need, so it's a beautiful thing, and Rotaract really becomes a family, and people just go and make an impact in the world, and that's the whole point of it, and it's just beautiful. So I want to ask you, besides Rotaract, what other clubs were you involved in, and how did they help you or affect you?
So the obvious one is the theater club. But before I get to the theater club, there was one other club I was a part of that not many people know about. And that was actually Pride Club. I was actually part of Pride Club for about a year, if that long.
Oh,
And basically, yeah, not many people know that. And the reason is because I had a friend, and he wasn't sure about who he was, so he's like, hey, you're not doing anything during this time. You want to just join me? And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. It is what it is. I'll meet new people, whatever. I really didn't care, right? So I would always go with him to those meetings. And during that time, I really did like Pride Club. The people there were pretty cool for the most part, pretty accepting of me as an ally. So it was pretty cool. It's also another well tight knit community, and I learned a lot also about I guess the LGBTQ community. I, right, so I did learn a lot even from them. Sadly, after they graduated, I kind of just stopped not going to clubs because at that point I didn't really know anybody. I think I went to one or two meetings afterwards, but like at that point I just felt like I didn't click in anymore into that club. But I still enjoyed those experiences, of course, just me and my friends, and I still talk to some of them from time to time. So Pride Club is one of the three clubs I was part of. And Pride Club is the one that not many people know about because it was little time, I guess, comparatively speaking, and I don't know. It's just something that was never really talked about for some reason, I guess. And then the other one is, of course, theater club, and that kind of just ties in with the whole theater department and my whole experience with the whole theater department. Um, I, however, although my experiences with the theater club itself are a little bit mixed, if I'm being honest, just because there was some issues, which I'm not going to go into, but let's just say I got screwed out of a position hard. Everybody knows it. Most everybody thinks it's unfair, but that's besides the point. I'm not going to get into it right now. But yeah, but for the most part, with the theater club itself, it's kind of mixed. Also because we didn't really do much, and also in part because so much of the theater club itself, it's like there really isn't a theater club per se. It's just like the theater department is a theater club, more or less. So like everybody in the acting one class and the acting two class and the improv class are basically the same members as a theater club. So it's also kind of hard to like distinguish that separation. You get me? And we only have like 20, 30 students tops on top of that. So it's basically the same people. Most of my associations are theater departments, theater stuff, and when it comes to theater clubs, since aside from like some of the bake sales, which were still fun, and some of the we did do activities that were fun, but I feel like it's more. Most of my experiences with the theater club are more mixed in with just the overall theater department experience. And then again, if we're just talking about theater club itself, I'll admit it's a bit mixed in my because of my given experiences.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy how many different clubs it has, right? And the good thing about it
Mm-hmm.
is that you can create your own club too, if you're
Yeah.
interested in doing that. So you have full support in doing that, and you can create your club, and it can keep going the year after that, and after that, and after that. Rotaract was
Mm-hmm.
actually brought back the year before I joined, I believe, by Adrian and that board. So it was
Adrian, Natalie, Marie, Ariana,
pretty cool.
Paul. Yeah.
So for me, I was part of basically three clubs just because since I was in the honors college, I wanted to focus my energy on my GPA and my studies as well.
Mm-hmm.
As you need a certain GPA to stay in the honors college, and once you're in it, you don't want to lose that, right? So, so I was really focused on that. But I was able to excel in every way in the honors college thanks to my support system, right? Thanks to all of them and for all the tools that they gave me, and to my beautiful family, obviously, and my
Of
friends.
course.
But let me get into the club. So I was part of PTK. PTK is Phi Theta Kappa. It's a club meant to help people find scholarships to fund their education and their educational expenses. And I thought that was such an important club to be part of because what other club gives you money or allows you to apply to scholarships just like that?
Fair enough.
And
Yeah.
you actually have access to the scholarships. Yeah, the process is long, but it is there and it is available. And sometimes you may do like 100 online applications and you don't even get one follow-up, you know? And having a club that's there that you can ask your advisor, hey, can I apply for this? Can I apply for that? It's just an entire network of support. PTK is known all over the US. And colleges know about it, and it's a big deal. It's a very important organization to be part of. It's an honor society. So I was the communications director at PTK my second year after being a member for the first year, and it was truly such a great experience. And I made amazing memories, even though we had to cancel one trip that we had planned. for the
Oh.
annual convention or national convention, I believe, in Texas. Because of the pandemic, it was still such a beautiful experience, and it was worth it. And PTK definitely helped me get to where I am today. So I'm very happy about that. And then the second one, well, Rotaract's the first, PTK, and then Metamorphosis. So Metamorphosis is actually the literary magazine for Wolfson campus.
Okay.
And I was part of the writing team. And the reason why I joined is because I love writing. I'm a journalist, and even though I don't want to dedicate full time to writing because I like broadcast journalism a lot more for the interaction,
Right.
I do want to publish a book someday. You know, I think my first book might be a poetry book. So I'm really, really excited. And that experience helped me actually get some of my work published. You know, I published 2 poems the first year, and this year I published like a 4 or 6 part poem, and it was just, yeah, it's such a great experience. You get feedback, you get to analyze poetry. Thank you. Other people's poetry, your own poetry. It gets judged, and then it gets selected and published in the magazine, and it's just amazing. That was such a beautiful experience to have. And
Nice.
Metamorphosis also has an art section, which is everyone that puts it all together, and it's the artistic perspective that is not writing. But we both work together, and there's no divide in between because we really work together, and we can both go to both the meetings. But there are those 2 sides to it. So the next question is, what are your fondest memories of being at MDC?
Can I go for that pass out again? No. Okay, fondest memories. Ooh, fondest memories. Being in some of the plays, just I guess being with my friends, stuff like that, would be one of my fondest memories. To be honest, like if I had to pick a particular moment, I mean, I guess just like, ooh, this is a weird one. But I have a really good way or memory. Yeah, that's a better word. I have a really good memory as to how I met a lot of people. So I guess like just those memories, like how I met some people, like even meeting you, for example. I still remember that, which was the funniest way too.
I don't remember it.
Clearly, you don't remember it?
No.
Nice. Oh, it was in a Rotaract meeting. It was the final Rotaract meeting during the 2018 fall semester, when we had the potluck, and I walked into the door, and Alexis, I had already seen Alexis earlier that day. We both happened to get the same bag of chips or something for it because it was like a potluck. I walk in, and Alexis is like, "Oh my gosh, there's Daniel stealing my idea." She said something like that. And I'm like, I basically walk over to her, and you and Tiffany were right there. I'm like, "What do you want, basically, Alexis?" And I'm talking to Alexis. I'm like, "Oh, by the way, I'm Daniel." I say hi to both of you. I say hi to both of them, like, "Oh, hi, by the way, I'm Daniel." You're like, "Yeah, I'm Kata, I'm Tiffany." Cool. Back to Alexis. So yeah, and we're just like riffing on each other. And I'm like, "Okay, bye." After a while, but yeah, I remember how I met you. I remember how, and I guess Tiffany, but that logic. I remember how I met Nat twice. Technically, I met her twice, so there's that. I remember how I met Ernesto, Johnny, Adrian. Like I remember Ariana. I remember how, and not even also outside of Rotaract, I remember how I met my some of my other friends. So like Jace or Dwayne, Dustin, Eric, Zen. So a bunch of these other people. So I think those would really be some of my fondest memories. How I met some of these people that I just came to become really good friends with. So yeah, and shame on you for not remembering how we met.
I'm sorry, I have bad memory.
Clearly.
So I think I'm gonna. Okay, I think he stopped. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my. I'm gonna let him. Give me 1 second. I apologize.
So I'm the host now.
He was desperate to go in. Let me check. So my
Check
fondest
what?
memories, and I have, these are just 3 very specific memories, and within these memories there's tons of other memories, but I'll go into that another time where I share these experiences in another live or in a YouTube video. But the Salzburg seminar, the Global Citizenship Alliance seminar, that's an opportunity that was unique to the Honors College. We traveled to Austria, to Salzburg, Austria. We went through Germany to Austria, and it was just amazing. I made the best friends I could have ever made. I did it my first year. the talks we had, the different conversations, discussions we had. We visited. We visited so many places, and it was so educational. We visited a memorial, that Shaw Memorial. I don't know how it's pronounced,
Okay.
but it was just very impactful, and that, yeah, it was just very impactful. And for me, it was I'm sorry, it was about 2 weeks, but it was very enriching academically, and it was also very personally enriching, because I met my best friends. So Elba, Natalie, Tiffany, Beatrice, we bonded so much in that trip. We
Lane?
bonded so much, and those friendships were strengthened by that experience. So I'm super happy that we had those days together. And then the second experience will be my study abroad in Indonesia. I actually took a multicultural communications and relations class, and it was a study abroad. And I traveled all the way to Indonesia, where I was immersed in the Indonesian culture, which is a beautiful culture, and I was just very happy to have that opportunity. And there's a YouTube video actually on my channel about that, so I'm not gonna go into it further, but it truly changed my life. And
Link in bio.
Lastly, the Washington Center seminar that showed me that I should be involved in politics despite not being a citizen, that I should know more about this country, and that I should advocate for people to get involved in their communities. And that's the best way to get involved, to vote, to create change. So those were my 3 most fond memories in Miami-Dade. And the last question is, I didn't actually write the last question, but it's...
What was the best thing about going to MDC?
What was the best thing about going to MDC? Do you want to answer it?
Well, I asked you, so...
Oh, okay. Well, for me, it's the many opportunities, the endless opportunities MDC gives you, and the value of the education that it provides.
Nice. For me, the friendships at the end. Yeah. The friendships for sure. Because even before college, I was always a loner, so to speak. Never really felt like I belonged anywhere. I mean, I guess that's par for the course for a theater student to begin with. But that being said, when I got into college, I kind of just let's see what happens. And I was kind of still under that same high school mindset, oh, people are probably not going to like me, whatever have you. And then, of course, in these 3 years, I made so many great friendships, So, Ayala, you, Matt, Dwayne, Dustin, Eric, Ariana, T, Ernesto, Johnny, whoever comes up to mind right now, Miche, Paul, who else comes up to mind, Zen, whatever. People, you know what I mean? So, yeah. So I think it's just the friendships.
That's amazing. Well, that was our last question. So thank you for being here. I believe the timer, we don't have any extra questions. But if anyone, it's okay, because we're about to run out of time. This goes only for 40 minutes, so we're right there. But I just wanted to thank you for being here, for sharing your experience. And I hope this helps a lot of people get both of our experiences that are very different, but in the same place, and both of them incredibly enriching experiences. And I just hope this helps a lot of people in the future. And thank you for doing this with me, Daniel. I appreciate you. And I miss you.
Thank you for having me. Me too. Thank you for having me. Air hug or virtual hug.
Hug. Virtual hug.
Virtual hug.
And to everyone watching us, thank you so much for being here.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.